Another violent moment in a campaign season already marked by unprecedented upheaval. The FBI says that former President Donald Trump was the target of yet another apparent assassination attempt today at his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida. Thanks for joining us on this late edition of News Channel 3. I'm Andy Dominiani. Trump's campaign and investigators have all confirmed that Donald Trump is safe and was playing golf at the time. Nobody was injured. We also now know the identity of the suspect. The Associated Press says authorities have identified him as Ryan Wesley Routh. Police say a Secret Service agent opened fire after spotting the barrel of a rifle poking through the perimeter of the golf course property. The suspect was later apprehended after somebody nearby photographed the car that he used to escape. Late today, the Palm Beach County Sheriff confirmed that the suspect had a scope, backpacks, and a GoPro camera and was within 300 to 500 yards of the former president. The shooting happened just 2 months after Trump survived the assassination attempt you're seeing now during that outdoor rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where he was shot in the ear. Here's Christine Frizzell with more on what we've learned so far.
Another attempt on Donald Trump's life foiled after a stunning chain of events in Palm Beach County, Florida. That includes an adept Secret Service officer just ahead of him at the Trump International Golf Course.
He was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off.
Sheriff Rick Bradshaw says he left behind 2 backpacks with ceramic tile, a GoPro video camera, and an AK-47, which had a scope, praising a witness who saw the suspect and took a photo of his car and his tag. The suspect, identified as 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh, soon pulled over and taken into custody. Investigators now scouring his social media to determine a motive. Routh had recently been living in Hawaii and had multiple prior arrests. In a campaign email, Trump writing, "My resolve is only stronger after another attempt on my life. I will never slow down. I will never give up." Shock still settling in that the suspect was able to get as close as he did, between 300 and 500 yards from the former president.
The golf course is surrounded by shrubbery, so when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right, and at this level that he is at right now, he's not the city president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible.
The threat level is high. We have increased the amount of assets that we've supported, so we live in danger times.
The incident just about 2 months after a gunman was able to get way too close to Donald Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The bullet grazing Trump's ear, another killing a man at the rally. An incident critics say never should have happened.
That falls to negligence, incompetence, being unmotivated, unwilling to do the job on a Saturday morning, a hot Saturday morning in July. The very basics of what the Secret Service needed to cover simply wasn't done.
The analysis from this apparent assassination attempt is so far largely positive of the Secret Service. That stands in sharp contrast to the security lapses that plagued the Butler, Pennsylvania incident. A report on that is due out in the coming days. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
We are hearing tonight from President Joe Biden following this apparent assassination attempt on former President Trump. In a statement today, Biden says in part, quote, "I am relieved the former president is unharmed. As I have said many times, there is no place for political violence or for any violence ever in our country. And I have directed my team to continue to ensure that Secret Service has every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure the former president's continued safety." Vice President Kamala Harris also reacting tonight in a post on X earlier. She said she was glad that Trump was safe. In an amended statement tonight, Harris said in part, quote, "I am deeply disturbed by the possible assassination attempt of former President Trump. Today, as we gather the facts, I will be clear, I condemn political violence. We all must do our part to ensure that this incident does not lead to more violence." And we're also hearing from Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga tonight. In a statement to News Channel 3, he says, quote, "I'm glad President Trump is safe, yet more questions go unanswered. But one thing we do know is that in a heated political season, the inflammatory rhetoric used by Vice President Harris and her allies is helping create an even more dangerous situation, not only for President Trump, but for the country. Both Trump and his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, will be returning to Michigan this week, and you can expect to see even tighter security than usual, of course, given the events of today. I talked a short time ago with a former Secret Service agent about this pair of problems that could have ended in disaster for Donald Trump.
Take a look at what happened.
Two attempts on a former president in as many months. Until now, unheard of in American politics.
Yeah, unprecedented. You know, we go so long without any incidents, and then to have two of them back to back like this within the course of a couple months is pretty surprising.
Former U.S. Secret Service agent Jason Russell worked high-profile details for both Presidents Bush and Obama.
Anytime there's shots fired at an event, obviously there's a mistake made.
Russell says 60 days ago, when a would-be 20-year-old assassin opened fire on Donald Trump from a nearby unsecured rooftop in Pennsylvania, was a massive communications failure. But what happened today on a Florida golf course represents a planning problem that will likely force protocol changes moving forward.
You know, what they try to do in these situations is get out as far ahead as they can, so they'll have a kind of a buffer of at least maybe 2 holes in front and 2 holes behind.
Authorities say the suspect, who'd been hiding in the bushes with a scoped rifle, backpacks, and a GoPro, was as close to Trump as 300 yards, well within firing range. As you know, that is not a long distance when you're talking about a rifle with a scope. Should that have been a secure area? Is there any failing here on the part of the advance team for when he golfs?
You know, I think they would have treated this kind of like what we call an off-the-record movement.
Off-the-record movements, meaning unpublicized appearances and/or unofficial business on the part of the protectee. But even those, Russell says, are increasingly unsafe.
But I think they're going to have to look at, securing larger perimeters whenever these protectees are out, because obviously you're seeing just an increased threat level at this point coming up to the election.
Now, again, this all comes as former President Donald Trump is scheduled to make a stop here in Michigan in Flint on Tuesday for a town hall meeting to be moderated by Arkansas Governor and former White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders. His running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, is also coming to Michigan, to West Michigan Tuesday in Sparta, and security, again, will likely be a topic of concern for both events. Our team will have live coverage as well.